2010 is actually the very first time I went to Florida, and it was the very first time I ever used abortion victim photography. The very first conversation I had on a Florida campus was with a young woman, and I was really excited to have this discussion because I was hoping I could talk to one of these feminists I'd heard so much about. And this 19-year-old girl came up, she's kind of staring at the signs, and I said, "What do you think about abortion?" And tears start trickling down her face, and she said, "I had one a couple of weeks ago." And I had no idea what to say to her, because I knew how to explain to her that her baby was a human. I knew how to argue that her baby was a person. I had no idea what to say to somebody that was telling me she'd had this experience. She was looking at the consequences of that experience on our sign, and it was too late to persuade her not to do it. And so it shut me up, and I just stood there looking at her, and I said, "Oh, what do you think of our signs then?" And then she got angry, and she actually said, "Where were you guys 3 weeks ago?" She said if she'd seen pictures like this, she wouldn't have done it. And that's when I realized, talking to her, that her sin of commission was our sin of omission, because in a country filled with people who call themselves pro-life, and in a country filled with people who call themselves Christian, the only person who talked to this young woman about abortion was a doctor who took her money and killed her baby. We managed to talk to her later. She actually sought and received hope and healing for what she'd endured. She actually tattooed the name of the child across her womb where that child had lived her very short life. She named the baby Raven. That name has always stuck with me. But that experience transformed the way I saw how these images worked, and transformed the way that I saw what a career could look like. And so I came back to Canada with a whole bunch of other people and joined the pro-life movement, not just in a volunteer capacity on campus, but full time. If I spent the rest of my life trying to reach out to women like her in time, it would be a life well spent.